Canada-Constitution:RN 552-26-11085 CA. October 10th, 2021. We're having a cognizance-roll-call on the Canada-claimant-sovereign-postmasters that are joining the Canada Constitution that was filed on April 15th of 2017. At this time, I'm turning over the minutes to the Secretary of the Canada-Constitution, Postmaster, Muriel-Meta-Biggs.
Greetings. We just want to let everybody know who is a live birth claimant in the Canada, that if you want to join on the Constitution in the roll call, you need to get a hold of us. You can send a copy of your live birth claim to me at livelifeclaim@gmail.com, and make sure that you put a copy also excuse me, of the front page of the Constitution with a stamp and your autograph, and the back page of that front page with your autograph and fingerprint, and then the last page where there's autograph lines for you to put your autograph and fingerprint. And you have to mail that to me. I'll give you that data when you send your live life claim to me at the livelifeclaim@gmail.com. We're looking to create a ship's papers package for our fellow citizens, and we would like as many of you who can to please contact us and join.
The volition of articulating a Canada Constitution by the trustees of the Constitution, which have placed their value of communication as well as the closure of the terms which they choose to be governed by on April 15th, 2017, when Canada ceased to exist and Canada Post came out of an international 70-year moratorium bankruptcy, and the Royal Proclamation of Canada became null and void with the transfer of all the bonds through the Bank of Canada to the Royal Bank of Scotland into the Prince Philip in London, who was the trustee executor of the bankruptcy. At the maturing of the bonds and the maturing of the bankruptcy note, Canada Post lost its authorization to credential citizens in the Canada territory. They then have attempted to kick off a fraudulent grammar New World Order, creating chaos with fake prime ministers with zero authorization to exist as a corporate structure, and corporate entities that are tricking and harvesting the unsuspecting citizens of the Canada. Because the citizens that you see on here are all born and raised in Canada and live in Canada, they have taken knowledge which they have learned on the bankruptcy and knowledge which they have learned on grammar, and under compliance with a 3-day publication notice on April 12th, 3 days before the end of the bankruptcy, on April 15th of 2017, they filed their Constitution in a correct mechanic. The first shareholders meeting that we've published on Warcastles has articulated who has the service of the methods and methods of the service with the Canada Constitution. And we are setting up the ship's papers for the martial law theater for the Canada citizens. This is the reason for the volition behind this cognizance-roll-call for the Canada claimants and postmasters and sovereigns to step forward in the Canada to claim their ship's channels. At this time, I'm turning it over to the shareholders for closure on what they would like to see in their ship's papers and some of the current concerns they have based upon the knowledge that they've gathered, to articulate what they're wanting for their ship's papers. So, Muriel, I'll turn it back over to you, Muriel-Meta-Biggs, and you can turn it over to your people.
At our last meeting, we were talking about the various items that are in our Constitution that we see are violations happening around us. And so at this time, we're going to open the floor And those who have concerns on the things in the Constitution that are being trespassed, you could bring them forward now.
Okay, well, this is full colon Gordon hyphen Michael full colon Schiller, and I would like to bring forth a grievance at this time, complaint for violations of the Contract Canada Constitution. Paragraph 1 of the Constitution is with the claim of the free liens and encumbrances. The fake government with their false narratives is continuing with the bankruptcy narratives and collecting from the citizens with fake taxes on all the stuff. That's got to stop. The media companies, as I mentioned earlier, are getting billions of dollars per year to lie to us, that they're using that against us. I want to put a stop to that stuff. Also in the Constitution, in Section 49, we have said that there is no taxation on excise tax, no fuel taxes, no carbon taxes. We expressly, well, bad word, expressly, forgive me. We stated that carbon, they could not tax carbon. They are doing so. That's to stop. To stop now, and I want that value back and turned back to the Contract Canada citizens. We have the provisions for that in the contract in paragraph 16 with the bailment management to gather those funds and return them or give them back to the people, where we can take and invest that value, and that's also in the Constitution oh golly, now I forget what section it is here. I think in paragraph 16, for the vestment of those funds to fund the Contract Canada Citizen Trustee Council, and also dividends to the Contract Canada Citizen Trustee Council is to be paid. And we want to get that paid out so we have the value to pay our military. We have Section 44 with the police and the sheriff and the military. We have them authorized to perform, to correct these things. And Section 45, the military is set with the duty of our settlements to settle these matters. Okay. So if it comes down to push comes to shove, we've authorized the military to do so. And if we can collect this value that's being stolen from us, we can invest that value and pay our military. And then the different things that we're being blocked in our movements. We're being blocked in going into foreign vessels here for food, to buy our necessities of life, with fake narratives to have vaccine passports and so on and so forth, to wear masks and stuff to go into these places. These corporations are claiming that they have the right to do so, which they do not.
No, in fact, Gordon, because in 2003, I disqualified the Universal Postal Union's capacity to authorize corporations on a global level due to the fraudulent grammar in the articles and the fraudulent money to accept fee for freight for corporate setup of corporate structures. Corporate structures do not have authorization to say anything to the claim of the life claimants, and those were ship's papers, because the credentialing for the corporate structures on a global level has been proven to be fraudulent grammar in how they set up their corporate concepts. And so, no, you are correct that the corporations who are trying to block you from bartering and trading the goods for services for the enjoyment and happiness of your life, which you have articulated in your Constitution, that the corporations need to be given closure about their corporate structures. So one of the things that can be done is to get a copy of, I know it's difficult, of the corporate concepts and the corporate charters for these different businesses that you want to do business with. And we need to start syntaxing them and filing amicuses to the shareholders and the trustees and the attorney firms for these fraudulent grammar corporations. And I know it's a massive undertow on that as a settlement.
Yes, well, we have in paragraph 36 and 37, we are damaged by their false narratives and false claims, and we have damage claims there. Once again, falls back to our paragraph 16, to our bailment management, where we can collect on these values and to get to bank these values for the benefit of our Contract Canada Corporation, and have our value instead of having it stolen and hijacked by these thieves who have zero authorization to do so. And again, comes back down to paragraph 44 and 45, duty with the military to stop this stuff, for our settlements, for our full settlements. And in paragraph 37, we have claimed in there our full compensation, that we get all our damages, and we get full compensation, that they don't get to withhold anything. It's all there in the Constitution.
Okay. Okay. Well, let's get our ship straight. So I want to, does anyone else have any claims that they would like to bring forward into the minutes at this moment?
I would like to see a stopping of the forcing of the medical procedures on the people for the sake of accessing not only essentials like food, gas, clothing, but also to access their place of work, or in other words, their livelihood.
Well, Troy Colin Cormac, there's a two-tier system being set up. Unfortunately, fiction will attack fiction. So fiction has authorization to vaccinate fiction. It's fiction. It doesn't exist. So fiction, you can't stop that. Okay, number one. But fiction does not have authorization to look at a fact. But you're a fact. You have a claim of the life. So you have to articulate that. You have to be cautious about what you're saying here. Fiction will destroy fiction on this planet. It's guaranteed. You can't stop that. You don't have the authorization to get in the way of that. However, you've set yourself up as a fact, and fiction does not have authorization to look at a fact. So that is your safety, and you must keep that into position before you start saying you want to stop the whole thing across the board, because you can't. Because fiction has to attack fiction. It's what it's going to do. Fiction is going to destroy fiction as this thing evolves more. And as the people learn to get away from the fiction, then the fiction leaders will only destroy themselves, and they're self-imploding, and they'll self-implode. So we're going to let that happen, but at the same time, we want to get the education out to the citizens to show them that there is a safety net that's been put in place through your Canada Constitution and the things that you guys have articulated to give them a safe haven to park, so they don't have to become damaged goods as the fiction destroys the fiction on the planet.
Right.
I comprehend.
Well, and one more that I had left on my list here was a violation of paragraph 56, where they have now in Edmonton, Alberta, Canada, the fiction government has banned peaceful gatherings near any of their Alberta Health Services locations.
Again, Gordon, you have to allow fiction to destroy fiction. If you're not personally involved with that, you can't say that statement. If you don't have claim to life claimants that are involved with that, you can't go there.
For I comprehend, however, when the life claimants go there with their paperwork, as we did the other day, they cannot stop us, and they're stopping us, and that's
you have to explain it in a way that they can comprehend. And I know, and it may have to get a little bit. You may have to punch them in the face. I don't know, right? I don't know, but it's martial law, right? I'm just being real honest with you, right? Oh, well, it's like that. I'd like to have your handcuffs and your gun. What? Bam, bam, bam.
Yeah.
The next thing you know, you're handcuffed on the ground, and you just keep on going wherever you want.
I am cognizant of the fact that there is capious warrants coming for Dina Hinshaw and for Jason Kenney, and to do these things. And so one of the questions that I had is, when we go down there, we're unarmed, we're street clothes. They're not afraid of us at all. But if we had a couple of military police standing behind us.
Yeah, you need to go talk to the military, and we need to serve the warrants on the military. So,
right.
And you can't, Gordon, you can't go walking in there by yourself.
No,
you need to walk in there with your cameras rolling and 5 claimants, right? Because that's class action.
Right.
And everybody has to have knowledge. You just can't take people off the streets and walk in there with fresh claims of life that don't have the capacity to navigate themselves.
Correct.
It's unfair to them. There's a lot of people that want to join this, but they're very uneducated, right? They're trained up in fiction. They don't know that there's a whole world out here that just is it's a shipping channel for themselves. And so you want to show that to them, and that you do that by videoing it and watching the chemical reaction of these people who will confess to you, who will start complying with you as you explain it in a peaceful, compliant way. Now, if they don't, well, then they need to be, hung on the streets for treason. Unfortunately, the Canada citizens have surrendered their arms a long time ago. So you unarmed yourselves. That's out of my theater.
Some have.
Some have and some haven't. Yeah, that's exactly right. And they're pushing that as you see the chaos and stuff happen out here. We want to do this as peaceful as we can. But the military knows better. In here in the States, you should see how cowardice the military is. I mean, they had just lost the war in Afghanistan, and they're watching this invasion happen on our borders, and they don't want to step up and stop it. They want the harm to come to their family members here. They're allowing it to happen. So it's a real sick game. Somebody hates somebody somewhere to allow this hatred to come in, and this mass migration of a total disposition and terraforming of planet Earth. It's going to cause massive chaos if people don't learn how to communicate correct. This is where the grammar comes into place to give people closure, but unfortunately people don't know how to look at the root causes of things and look at the quantum of things, and haven't been taught those accountability lessons. So let's take that to the military, because obviously it looks like that's the first place we need to go here.
Yeah.
We need to go to the military. In paragraph 45, if that's the settlements that you have placed in your Constitution, and paragraph 44, then they're the ones that need to be talked to. For sure.
Yeah. Okay.
For sure. Because they're the ones that have the capacity to do something. Now, whether they have the heart to do it and the guts, that's a different thing. In our country, over here in our borders, they don't have the guts and they don't have the heart. Nobody cares. And so you're going to run into that where just nobody cares. And so you have to consider that as you navigate. I know you're frustrated. You guys are frustrated. Just comprehend it. Nobody cares in the wheelhouse.
If we can deal with the theft of our values and have that value for our use to pay our military, equity compels performance.
Yeah, I agree. I concur with that 100%. But you're going to have to educate them. And that's what we're busy doing down here. We're educating our military commanders and our leaders, and we have, with the people that are using my system within the military right now. The military is getting a huge education, and they need to, right? Because you don't know what you don't know till you find out. And when you find out, then it challenges yourself to be a better person, to see if you want to stop and correct here, to be part of a solution instead of a problem, part of a problem. And so right now you're dealing with a mass concern of a lack of education. But then there are people that are very educated on these mechanics that are using the grammar to be uncompliant to the fiction people. And so that's where, where Dave, and that's what Dave told you he was going to do. Dave said, I'm going to educate the top 1% of the 1%. And that's what he did, right? So in our country, one of his students was Kamala, right? And so anything comes at them, they just pitch it in the trash, right? Because they know it doesn't say anything. In your location is the Queen of England, right? They know it's trash. They don't have to comply with anything. They just pitch it in the trash. So you got to comprehend where Dave was coming from. He set this in motion, and so we're having to deal with his choices to do that instead of taking the technology and giving it to the people. He took the technology and gave it to the people that are doing this to you now. So we're having to undo that. And the people that are doing it to us now, they've got all these uneducated people that work for them. And so they don't have to tell them that they know the secrets, and they hide behind this. They hide behind this ruse. Mm-hmm. So these are the things that we're having to deal with was, David's poor choices, so we're dealing with it.
When we serve the military with the warrants and the Constitution, do we need, as far as I can comprehend with the methods that I've learned so far, we would need a post-road treaty in order to post our roads on and off that foreign vessel and dry dock military base.
Yes, but you have one of those built into your Constitution.
Okay, yeah.
If you look at, I think it's in page 2. I don't have it hold on a second. Let me find it. I think it was on page 2 and 3. Didn't we have? You guys have it in front of you right now?
Yeah, I'm looking at it.
Hold on. Here it is. Yeah. Give me a second. I think it was on page 2. Wasn't it right there after the articles? Hold on. I don't have, for some reason I'm missing. I skipped right to 4.
Well, 5 is dealing with their alien communications, but
Yeah, I see that. I thought we
well,
had
6 is dealing with the social management duties, but not really that I can tell as a post road treaty. But
I thought we had one there. I don't have paragraph 2 in front of me, guys, so I apologize. For some reason that page is missing.
paragraph 2 or page 2?
Paragraph 2. Paragraph 2 and 3 I
On
don't
the
have.
front page.
What's that? I don't know what page.
Should be on
it
the
is.
front page.
No.
Well, number 2 for this document contract.
yeah,
federal
found
postal.
Mhm.
Yeah, Canada contract duty closures with the contract treaty performance. So we would need 5 of us to go there as well.
Yeah, you need 5. That's what I said. You got to go there in a class action position in compliance with the Constitution.
Yeah.
And it needs to be done sooner than later. I know it's difficult to put it all together, and we have to coordinate where is the top commanding people in your province, because you're going to have to go to your, in Alberta. That's one location. British Columbia, that's going to be that's going to be another location. And so we're going to want to have each province, the top commander, at least given closure and go ahead and, feel confident walking up there.
Right.
Paperwork in order to do that. You're going to have warrants for a lot of people.
Yeah. Well, that's why I was saying that we need to stop our values being stolen and collect those values ourselves, so that we can bank that and get our dividend payments. So we have money for our mailings and for all our performances.
Find out the corporation families that are behind. Is it the Windsor family right now that is currently still trying to act on behalf of behind the scenes for the banking families in Canada?
I have no idea who it is.
No, we need
There's
to find out.
another- Yeah, we can look it up. It's another
And
name.
They
Windsor is
hide stuff.
public, but they hide the real name.
We need to find that, and then
Yeah.
that's the person that we need to go after the funds on, and then direct the military to cut the funds on them. As chances are, it's the general on top is being funded directly by that person. And so I've seen that. I've been sat in military meetings with generals before, and they were being paid directly in this particular case, by a corporation down in the Caribbean. And so
We have that name in the document that Brad and Angus and I sent. That name of the top military commander in Canada.
Oh, okay. Okay, I'll take a look at that again.
Well, sounds like we've all got some searching to do here for all of that stuff.
we need to figure that out. But Gordon, you did a really good job bringing up section.
Thank you,
44
Gordon.
And section 44 and section 37 and section 36 and section 49 on the carbon tax. I like what you guys did, and paragraph 16 on how to vest it back into the people up there. And that's really what this is about, is the people are being damaged up there.
Yeah, I mean, gasoline could be, $1 a liter, instead of this, what they're charging us, which is just being raped. And that fund is going to one, like you say, one of these families. That value is going someplace. That's got to be stopped.
Yeah, that's where we need to put a focal point right now, is find out exactly, not so much the fiction actors there, but who's funding them behind the scenes and what entities are doing that, what shell games are being played there. Upon that, then we can take a look at things in a different perspective, for sure.
Because that needs to. If we could stop that and have that value, sue them or tax them or whatever in some fashion, that value could come back to us, so we could bank that value with the quantum-bank.world. We could do something. We could pay our military, and we could pay for the changes that we're looking for.
Here's the problem. You have to have military leaders that have knowledge. A lot of the problem is you're running into guys that are nefarious and that are doing it on purpose and have been bought off to do this to you. And then and then simultaneously you have people in there that don't have a lot of knowledge. They're very good at what they do in their structured form, but they don't know Canada ceased to exist in 2017. They haven't done the homework there. And it's a big pill to swallow, right? That you've been living a lie for five. And down here, we've been living it out since 1999. Up there, it's only 2017. Australia, it's 2019 when they came out of bankruptcy. So they've only been pushing them for 2 years. But the Australians were pretty soft when they turned in their guns 10, 15 years ago. They hurt themselves, right? They didn't study history. They didn't appreciate history. Disarming your citizenship.
Well, they're paying for it now.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Very uneducated. It's unfortunate to see. So, all right, guys. Well, let's call this minutes to a roll here to the end. And Muriel, let me know or let us know when you want to have another meeting, when you have your claims of the life and how we're going to articulate the ship's papers. And we want to put those people on the ship's papers that go into the military as well. So,
Okay. And the email again is livelifeclaim@gmail.com.
for I concur.
I concur. Thank you, Russell.
Thank you.
Thank you guys. See you.